Mom!
Every kid has that one obsession that consumes all their thoughts and bugs their parents to no end. For some, it's superheroes, others, Star Wars, but for me, it was Godzilla. I rented every film of his at my local Blockbuster, bought every figure, and watched every Godzilla YouTube channel known to man. I couldn't shut up about the damn lizard. While my entire childhood was pretty much defined by the Godzilla series, to the common man, it essentially doesn't exist. I think just about everybody has heard of Godzilla, yet I bet you anything the vast majority of the world outside of Japan has not seen a single genuine Japanese Godzilla film. And why would they? Public opinion deems these films to be worthless, stupid trash. So why do I love them so much? Well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. That's a negative. Well, yes, but actually no. From a purely objective standpoint, these movies are kind of dog shit. The plots are predictable and simple, the editing is piss poor, the acting is wooden, even more so when dubbed.
Hey, look! I found some funny powder. What do you think it could be?
Looks like sand.
But it doesn't matter. In fact, it adds to the experience. These movies are cheesy, silly fun. Okay, excluding the first one, they're cheesy, silly fun. When you turn on a Godzilla movie, you, for the most part, aren't looking for a Picasso or a Mozart or another famous artist I don't know the name of. You just want to watch monsters beat the shit out of each other. Bad acting and goofy effects in between the monster mash you can laugh at only adds to the entertainment, like the perfect topping to a wonderful cake. But of course, the monster battles are the main attraction. And they pretty much speak for themselves. Now, none of this would make for good entertainment if the directors and actors didn't know what kind of movie they were making. Luckily, they understood that as the series progressed, their main audience shifted from adults to children. While this meant the adult fans didn't get another serious and thought-provoking film in the series for a good while, it did allow the filmmakers to focus on upping the entertainment value, which included a heavier lean into this goofy side. And while eventually the movies did get more serious again, they never totally lost that silly aspect. In short, they are so enjoyable because they know they are goofy and hardly ever take themselves too seriously. No, I'm not talking about the humans. One of the ways the series shows this goofy side I mentioned is in its portrayal of the monsters themselves. Surprisingly enough, most of the kaiju have their own unique character traits, and some even have rudimentary arcs. Take Godzilla himself, for example. He goes from being the embodiment of atomic horror and all the fears of the post-war Japanese populace to a superhero of sorts. He also develops alliances with other monsters. In Ghidorah, the majority of the film pits Godzilla and Rodan against one another. Near the end, they are persuaded by Mothra to team up and help stop Ghidorah in a conversation scene that gives the kaiju almost human-level thought complexity.
It is Rodan saying no. He says it's none of their business if the Earth perishes, and Godzilla agrees with him. They've always had trouble with men, and men hate them.
From that point on, they work together to stop Ghidorah again, an Astro Monster, and destroy all monsters. As for character traits, Godzilla is super strong, never gives up, and likes to taunt his enemies, whether that be hand clapping or dancing. Rodan is generally seen as hot-headed and cocky and enjoys watching Godzilla be inconvenienced. Mothra, the mommy kaiju. She protects Earth itself at all costs, fighting with or against humanity. She's usually seen as well-reasoned and responsible. She is a god, after all. She also has her own rad theme song and two little hype women called the Shobijin. Anguirus, Godzilla's first foe, whom he kills. He comes back later somehow and is pretty much Godzilla's sidekick from then on. He's pretty weak on his own, but is eager to help out and is perhaps the best team player. The poor guy gets the shit kicked out of him all the time, though. Ghidorah, the eternal evil of the universe, destroys planets and is said to take joy in doing so. I could go on, but for brevity and my own reputation, I'll stop. There's no way in hell these monsters would be so memorable if not for this human-like characterization. So yes, it exudes cheesiness, but it's also quite endearing.
Imagination.
Going back to point 1, these movies were kind of just made with a fuck it attitude for a while. Therefore, the unbridled imagination of the writers, designers, and directors were on full display. You want a sentient pollution monster? Sure, why not? Here's Hedorah. Do you think Godzilla will make a good father? We do. Daddyzilla. Do you want Godzilla to fly? Yeah, actually... In all seriousness, to get an idea of the level of creativity and passion put into these flicks, just look at the monster designs. Megalon, Mechagodzilla, King Caesar, Gigan? Who the fuck thought of this? I'm afraid of that person. They put so much effort into these suits just to light them on fire and blow them up. Also, shout out to all those suit actors who went to work every day willing to get blown up with heavy rubber suits on for our entertainment. This imaginative spirit didn't stop with just the movies, it carried over into the fan base and my own life as well. After watching these films where it seemed like anything could happen, pitting two monster toys against one another who hadn't fought in the films felt legitimate. It would allow me to be creative in coming up with plots as to why they were fighting. Not to mention that it even looked pretty similar since the monster suits and model cities in the films themselves had a toyetic quality to them. And of course, there were fan films. Deadzilla's Godzilla Forever series, Ultraman Cronus' Godzilla vs. the Space Monsters, Monster Island Buddies, B3 Productions' Godzilla and Gigan, even the ones by Cyberfan X that were just on the living room floor with VHS tapes as buildings. I can't think of Godzilla without also picturing these old YouTube classics. All of these shaped my early YouTube experience and displayed tons of imagination, but never would have without the original Godzilla series featuring such a high degree of creativity and who cares attitude. While it sounds cheesy, these movies and the fan creations that spun off from them left a large impact on me. They granted me impetus for creativity, allowed me to appreciate the good, bad, and weird, and provided me hours and hours of entertainment. I'm 18 now, and while that's still quite young, I'm just now hitting that line of, oh shit, gotta start paying taxes, supporting myself, and whatever else adults do. With all the concern and stress that comes with that, having a series of just dumb fun movies that can take me back to the feeling of being 8 sitting in front of the TV with a Capri Sun and no worries is insanely valuable. So, thanks, Toho.
Juice box.